Okay, good afternoon to everyone. Today we're going to do a very basic how-to where we will walk through for absolute beginners the SGX website. And this is a short beginner's tour and it provides a helpful introduction for retail investors and absolute rookies on a primer on how to get information if you are an investor with income investing bias. All right, so if you like dividends and you like local stock counters, this will tell you where to get that basic information. All right, and I hope that this will give you the courage to perform a lot more exploration on the website so that you'll be able to start your dividends investing journey. Okay. And so what we will do is to get to the front page of the website, simply key in sgx.com on your browser. And let's go. Okay. So this is the front page of the website. And it looks like this. Okay. And as you scroll down, you will be able to see how the STI, the Straits Times Index, is doing. Very interesting day because actually the number of stocks that advance is higher than the number of stocks that decline. All right. But overall, the index is down. Okay, the index is down lightly because generally speaking, the index will move based on the three large banks in Singapore. So if the banks are declining in value, the overall index will go down. Okay. And as you scroll down, you will see the performance of all these various indices, right? So that you have a general idea of how a particular asset class is doing. So if you like REITs or real estate investment trusts, then you expand this section and you know that, well, it's gone up slightly over the past few days. Okay. All right. And basically that's it. Okay, that's it for this particular page. I want to show you how you fetch stock prices. So go under securities and you go under prices, and you will see a page that looks like this, and you find how every single stock is doing today. All right. So as I've mentioned just now, the banks are down. So DBS is down, UOB down, OCBC is also down, and you find that the majority for today somehow the market isn't doing particularly well. The larger stocks tend to be retracing. All right, for the past few days, it's been doing quite well. Okay, so you can use the search bar to narrow down into a company that you want to look at. So if you want to look at, for example, venture manufacturing, then you key in venture, and then venture will show up at the top of the screen. Okay, and you can go in to get more information on venture. Okay, so let me just clear my search. This menu bar, it allows us to basically go through all the different sections that are relevant for the retail investor. So the stock section talks about stocks. Okay, there is the REIT section where you look at the various real estate investment trusts and you find out how they're doing. And real estate investment trust is slowly but steadily dominating the stock market. Okay, and it's not done so badly today. Okay, yeah. Business trusts are also a very popular way of getting dividends, and you can do the same. You will find business trusts in the business trust section. Okay, note that a hospitality trust is a staple instrument and it is normally placed under the hospitality trust section of the webpage. All right, find some really popular stocks for dividends investors, like for example, Netlink Trust is particularly popular, and for those people who like hotels, Capland Ascott Trust, right? It's also a very popular trust for these retail investors. Okay, now we can go further by pressing the right button, and this will give us access to one of my favorite areas of investing right now, known as a depository receipt. So if you click the DR, you scroll all the way to the right. It's almost like a hidden feature. You click DR and you will find all these Hong Kong and Thai counters that have listed in the Singapore Stock Exchange. And I particularly love Singapore depository receipts because they are a very, very good way of getting a diversified source of dividends in Singapore dollars straight into your bank account on the payment date. All right. So this is a very good new area that I'm also putting a lot of my personal funds into. Okay, because if I configure everything properly on my CDP, uh, I get added sources of dividends and income. All right, I get to spread the sources of my income across a wider number of stocks. Okay, so this is something that's particularly interesting for me. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is where you get price information and you get to see how exciting the stock market is on a day-to-day basis. Okay, now I'm only going to focus on securities that are equities. Okay, because I try to keep my video short and sweet. Okay, you can obviously explore things like fixed income, and fixed income is where you can get information on retail bonds. Okay, but I won't really emphasize fixed income in this particular video. Okay, so let's go back to securities. Okay, suppose I want to know what kind of dividends I'm going to receive for the next 7 days, for example. Okay, where do I go? All right, I go under securities and I look for this thing called corporate action. Okay, corporate action is a place where you can look at some of the activities that the companies are making, right? Generally involves putting money into your pockets. You have stocks that can go ex-dividend, which means that you can no longer receive the dividends once ex-dividend date has been met. Okay, and you can look at the payment date. So payment date is particularly important for me because I want to know who's paying for the next few days. Okay, today is the 11th of June. So let me just look for the stocks that are paying from the 11th of June. And maybe let's try to get what stocks are expected to pay me over the next 3 days. So Wednesday to Friday, okay, 11th of June to 13th of June. So I set the dates this way, and I'll scroll up, and you see this jumble of information where some bonds will be giving out their coupons, some other stocks, there are corporate actions, miscellaneous corporate actions listed here. So what I normally do is that I press the button here to sort it by dividends. Okay, and so at the top, you will see all these companies that will be giving out money from today, which is a Wednesday, until Friday. Okay, and I'm very pleased when I look at this screen because I have Mapletree Industrial, Mapletree Logistics, I have CSE Global. Okay, and I could be expecting these amounts of money coming in, and there's Netlink Trust as well. Okay, so very, very nice week for me. Okay, and how much dividends can I expect to receive? I could click for a little bit more detail. Okay, so let's say I'm receiving Netlink Trust later today. So I look at Netlink Trust. It says 0.0268. All right, 0.0268 per share. So if I have 1,000 shares, I would move the decimal point 1, 2, 3. All right, I will receive 26.80 for every 1,000 shares that I have. Okay, yeah. So I have several 100,000 shares. Okay, so you can sort of imagine the kind of dividends I'll be receiving this afternoon in my bank account. All right, yeah. So you can do this to track the dividends you are receiving. Okay, yeah. Show me the money, right? Okay. The other thing you can do is you can look at company announcements, and you want to know whether anything interesting is happening to the company. Okay, sadly, it's trying to see whether I'm a human being, so select all squares with bicycles. So yeah, I'm very bad at this, Sometimes I fail. Okay, so let me try to. Okay, I'm through. Okay, yeah, and you can look at company announcements, and you can filter it by company name. So just for fun, let's try to see whether there's any news for example, venture. Right, so I Keen Venture here. Okay. Venture Corporation. Okay, 23rd of May, they've attempted a share buyback. Okay, 23rd of May as well, you see that there's a disclosure of interest. So this is where you can find out whether are people actually buying or selling the stock, right? When it comes to insiders. So you can scroll down and you can look at the news, all right, as to what is actually happening. And you can look at the Form 1, right? It will tell you what's happening to venture at the moment. Okay. Okay. Wrong Form 1. Maybe it's the other link. Okay. Yeah, and this is a Form 1. Learn how to read a Form 1 because it tell you whether there is anybody that's actually buying or selling stocks, right? So the director in question is Chua Ki Lok. Okay. Is the director notified in respect of interest? Okay, it says no. All right. Date of acquisition. Okay. It involves 30,000 shares. Okay. Amount of consideration paid for or received is about 332,000. Substantial number. This person has done a market transaction. Okay. And the number of ordinary voting shares or units held. Okay. Previously, there is no deemed interest. Now there's 30,000 deemed interest. Okay, yeah. So you can go through this list to find out what's been happening. I don't think this is a very significant kind of event, okay, for venture, but it's good to just demonstrate that you can go through company announcements and you can learn a little bit about what senior management is doing for the company that you're looking at, right? You can also find things like meeting minutes as well, okay, and business updates, okay? So this is something that is useful for retail investors. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the prices page and let's drill down into venture. Okay. And you will see venture. So what you do is that you click it. Okay. And once you click venture, it would send you to a page where you get more details on the company stock. So what is particularly interesting for me is you want to look at the prices. And so actually venture has been beaten down, right? And it's been beaten down thanks to the Trump tariffs, global uncertainty. So manufacturing is not in a good spot, all right? If it's not in a good spot, it might be actually a good buy for investors who are contrarian, okay? And you can get some information on the overview. It's trading between $11 and $12 right now. Okay, all right, and okay, not too bad. Actually, it's almost at a historical low because I used to trade venture when it was $30. Okay, now one place that I particularly like to go to is obviously the valuation page because this allows me to see how cheap or how expensive the company is. Okay, and I can look at things like the dividend yield, all right, which is 6.67%. So it's an attractive yield counter. Price earnings ratio is pretty good, 13.32 on the cheap side. And for the past 5 years, it's yielding about 4.74%. Okay, so briefly, you will know that this is a decent kind of dividend kind of counter, provided that the business does okay. And then if you move on to the financials tab, you will find some of the key numbers that the accounting types would want to look at. Okay, for the more intermediate kind of investor, but you might be accounting trained, so you can look at some of their financial numbers. Okay, and my favorite page is obviously the page that talks about the dividends. So has venture had a very good or strong history of paying dividends? It's paid in May. It's paid in September. Okay, so if you look at this pattern, we know that if you buy venture, payday will come on the 5th and the 9th month of the year. Okay, and it's been doing so for the past 5 years. So that's a very steady kind of record. So maybe if I were to buy venture now, I could expect a nice maybe 20 to 25 cents payout in September. So you know when you're going to get paid if you were to buy a unit of this particular counter. All right. Okay. Another place that you can investigate venture further, and this is one of my favorite places if I'm looking at a new stock, is to go into the financial statement section. And this is where, if you are CFA candidate or you're an accounting major, you can have access to all the latest accounting, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statements. Okay, in my community and the students that we teach, we are particularly obsessed with the amount of cash flow that a company generates. Okay, so I normally go to the latest year and I go through the cash flow from operating activities. Okay, and I want to make sure that once I minus off the capex, does venture have enough money to generate dividends that they pay out? All right. Upon this cursory glance, I think it does. It certainly can generate enough dividends after accounting for the capital expenditure. All right, so pretty healthy free cash flows here. Now, is it a buy? Well, that's really up to you. Okay, after a prolonged investigation, maybe involving like other information sources in Singapore, like ChatGPT or maybe the brokerage analyst reports. Okay, all right, so let's clear this. And generally speaking, that's about it. Okay, for some of my students who are coming to my class without any investment experience, the feedback is often that the instructor doesn't have the time to go through the basics, like going through the SGX website. So this video is something that I'll use in my programs for students to just investigate the website on their own, so that when they actually come to a physical class, I don't have to focus on the fundamentals, and we can dive straight into how to invest in the stock markets. Okay. Okay, so that's it for this very quick whirlwind tour of the SGX website. I hope that this will give you the courage and the motivation to go in and explore the website a little bit more extensively. Obviously, everything that I've covered today, it's a very, very shallow kind of dive, but hopefully it would be good to get beginners to have the courage to dive into investing for dividends, right? Show me the money. Okay. So that's all I have for this particular video. Thank you very much.